Today was probably the hardest day yet for me putting together this top 5 players of the day. Just because here's how I did it.
What?
Okay, I went game by game.
Yeah.
And took every player that's like, all right, this guy could be a player of the day.
Yeah.
And wrote them down, right? So I went Phillies, Braves, wrote down the players. Then every series wrote down the players. Then I really started getting into a conundrum when I got to the Astros and Mariners when every pitcher that pitched today could be on
how do you
this
choose?
list.
Can you just do like bullpen? Can you do like pitching staff?
No, you can't.
You can't do
because
just
cheating
pitching
the system.
staff as like one of the boxes?
No. So today was definitely the hardest
We had
day.
a lot of heroes.
So let's get to it.
All right. Let's start with number 5. Who'd you got?
At number 5, Brandon Marsh.
Yeah.
We talked about him.
First hero of the day.
Comes over from the Angels, and he's now a Philly legend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, doing this in the playoffs. 3 for 4 today, a double, the home run. The home run, that set the tone, and they never looked back, and that had the feel of, like, there's always that one moment in a series, no matter what side you're on, like, this feels like it might be it. And the Brandon Marsh home run was it. So I could have gone in a lot of different directions, and maybe I will with the rest of the list, but stats on the field will matter, and the moment will matter in terms of my top 5 today. And this moment for the Phillies, yes, the Real Muto inside the Parker and all of that, this Brandon Marsh 3-run homer to start the scoring and to send Philly into an absolute pandemonium is why he is here at number 5.
And Marsh said that was the greatest moment, and the moment he has been dreaming of and waiting for throughout his entire career, and just really soaking in what that meant to Philly fans and to his career and as a baseball player. It's special. All right, who you got at number 4?
Number 4, Luis Garcia, Houston Astros, throws 5 innings. Are you doing
I'm doing his dance. I'm like, I don't know it, but I want to learn it. I feel like we'll have it down at one point.
5 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, 2 hits, and pitched what? Hold on, let me figure this out. He pitched 5 innings. The game went 18, so he pitched the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. No, 14th. The 14th inning on was pitched by Luis Garcia, and he dominated. He was incredible.
Yep.
And there were so many pitchers in this game you could go with. And it was very tough to not. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but like the starters were so good.
Yep.
But they were toe to toe to toe to toe. And it got to the later innings, and it's like, who are these teams going to turn to?
Yeah.
The advantage turned to having this guy, Luis Garcia, who is a great starter all year for the Astros. That depth that we've talked about with them came into play of, okay, who are you going to start on the mound, and then what are you going to do with the other guys? What do you mean, what are you going to do with the other guys? You're going to pitch them in the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th inning of the game and win, and that's what Luis Garcia did. So he's here at number 4. Before we move on to number 3, can we go full to Alex real quick so we can see her do the Luis Garcia wind-up? That would be great.
Wait, now we're trying it again?
Do it all again, yeah.
Okay.
I need to see it.
Where am I looking?
We'll rate this.
Right here? Okay.
Oh, you think he does a cross? Oh, he does a little crossover.
Now I'm on the spot.
That was great.
I was like, it was like the 1-2 step. He was like, he does the.
He actually dances off of each side of the mound before working his way back to the rubber.
He said it was just finding his timing and getting his balance.
He rocks the baby.
Okay.
Rocks the baby and then steps.
See, okay, there is a step. I'm like, there's a step.
That was great.
Okay.
Work in progress.
We'll get it.
You and the trumpet.
Next time.
This and the trumpet. It's a work in progress. On to number 3. Number 3. The Crone Zone.
Yeah.
Jake Cronenworth. We saw just a few hours ago what he did. Again, this list is about moments.
Okay.
There were legitimately 12 people I had written down to go in my top 5 today. How do you narrow that down? Well, it becomes about moments. And Jake Cronenworth had a moment that will live on in postseason history for the Padres forever. That hit up the middle, the 2 RBI single that he got to second base on the throw. Just that whole moment, the Kim double, the Soto game-tying hit, and then he gets on base, and then you have first and third. Soto steals second base. I say steals very lightly because
he shuffled.
Well, he was trying to he was trying to get into a rundown. Is what was happening because the runner on third. They're trying to get a throwdown. They're trying to make something happen. So he goes and tries to get in that rundown. Next thing you know, he's just shuffling, like, throw it,
Yes.
please. And then he's just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll just take
walked.
second base. But they just give it to him. And then Jake Cronenworth comes up. And then he gets ahead 1-0 in a count.
Yep.
Dave Roberts makes the move that should have him out in L.A., brings in a lefty, which is fine, but does it in the middle of an at-bat when he's already behind in the count. Jake Cronenworth gets that hit to center field. San Diego went absolutely bonkers, and they never looked back, and they won that game, and he had the game-winning hit.
And that Soto shuffle to second base brought him home.
That was better than Luis Garcia.
Thank you. I felt that
2 for 4 on the day, 2 RBIs, but it's the moment for me.
All right, who's at number 2?
Number 2, Jeremy Pena.
Ooh.
You know what's special about this day?
What?
Or about this?
Tell me.
Jeremy Pena was 0 for 6 on the day until his last at-bat.
Yeah.
So the reason he is here is a couple of reasons. Well, the obvious one.
Won the game.
He hit a home run in the 18th inning when nobody was doing anything, and he sent the Houston Astros to their 6th consecutive ALCS.
Yeah.
But there's a lesson out here for everybody, and listen close.
Okay.
Baseball is a very, 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 very difficult game. And I struggled with this. If I started a game 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, I was down for the count. And that last at bat, I was mentally defeated. And you hear this cliche statement all the time in baseball. It's like, all right, you're gonna have another at bat later though. Like, keep your head up. You could potentially win the game later. And it's like, yeah, I hear you, but like I'm playing like crap today. Like I'm 0 for 3. My average is going to drop no matter what, and it's very tough on you mentally. So you're in this game, in the playoffs in October, 0 for 6 or 0 for 7 at the time, and he comes up and he has a great at bat, ends up hitting a home run, and yes, the home run that won the game is why he's here, but he's also here because of that mindset and how special it is that you can be having one of the worst days of your career.
Yeah.
0 for 7, that's awful. That's such a bad day.
And it's also rare to get that many at bats, so it's a long game.
So for him to have that and to push through that and say, you know what? I've struggled, but nobody is going to remember any of those other 6 or 7 at bats if I do something right here to help the team win.
Yep.
And he did the best thing he could have possibly done, which is hit a home run to win the 1-0 ball game. Jeremy Pena, 1 for 8 with a home run.
I can't wait. Okay, who you got at number 1?
Great question.
All right.
Number 1 on today's list of my top 5 players of the day is Oscar Gonzalez.
Okay.
I mentioned it earlier.
Yep.
Only time in history, here's the stat, okay? Most postseason go-ahead hits in the 9th inning or later in a single postseason in history.
Yep.
David Ortiz in 2004 with 3. And Oscar Gonzalez in 2022 with now 3. Might I add to that, we're still in the ALDS.
Yep.
There could be plenty of time to go for Oscar Gonzalez. Today, 1 for 5, similar sort of story, but the big one when it mattered, the walk-off. They were down a run, down to their last strike with a nasty guy on the mound. It should have been somebody different, but a different story for earlier in the podcast, I guess, technically.
Yep.
Down to their last strike, and he battled. He put the ball in play hard enough to get through the infield. Ball game over. The second walk-off for Oscar Gonzalez in this postseason. A special moment. He walks up to the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. Oscar Gonzalez was my player, my number 1 on my top 5 player of the day. Brandon Marsh at 5, Luis Garcia at 4, Jake Cronenworth at 3, Jeremy Pena at 2, and Oscar Gonzalez round out my list at number 1.